It's one thing to see it. It's something else to experience it. This may be the key element of experimental archaeology, a movement which encourages testing archaeological hypostasis. A group of experts and visitors gathered last month to experience methods of the Stone Age in Kibbutz Sha'ar HaGolan in northern Israel.
I think the museum has wonderful displays, but I always think if people have a hands-on experience of materials that are often not preserved well on archaeological sites, that's when it really makes sense to people. They're using their hands as well as their brains. And I think the connection between the two really means that you get a detailed understanding.
The workshops, which took place on 2 different occasions, reenacted several traditions of the Stone Age era. The first, directed by Dr. Robert Graff, an archaeologist and archaeotechnician, was dedicated to making stone arrowheads. From making these arrowheads, we can also learn about the transition between different periods in ancient times.
Paleolithic and Mesolithic time, it was a maximum of efficiency. We have a lot of one-way weapons and one-way arrowheads where you don't waste a lot of time on it. And when you shoot it, it's gone. Okay, doesn't matter. Yeah. And in Neolithic times, the tools also start to get prestige, social status, and when you wear a nice made dagger, or when you have wonderful arrowheads on your arrows, you have a higher status than someone who has not.
Another workshop focuses on cooking methods of the Stone Age periods. Participants had to use their innovation skills to start a fire, collect food, and cook without electricity and modern instruments.
Before humans had pots, which is about 10,000 years ago, all the time before, like 1.5 million years ago, we had fire and people were cooking. And we don't know exactly how they were cooking, but we have some indications, like for example stones that had been in the fire and burst in the fire. So we assume that they were cooking it in a fire pit, like we do here, or they used it in water, to heat water to make a soup. And then they burst in a certain way. So I experienced over the time a few different ways how to prepare food. And this is what we are doing here now.
One of the workshops here is a hands-on experience of one of the oldest professions in the world, leather tanning.
I'm putting on a sheepskin tanning workshop here, and I basically am teaching a group of 12 people here from Israel to make fat tanned grain off leather. So that's a type of leather that is fuzzy on both sides. It's windproof and it breathes nicely. It's warm if you make clothes that are form-fitted. If you make loose clothing, it's actually quite cool. So it can be used in a lot of different environments.
I don't normally bring this out, but sheep.
Instructor Teresa Emmerich Camper is known to the wider public from the reality show Alone. Nowadays, she teaches the secrets of leather tanning, a complex and long process passed from generation to generation over the years.
Tanning is an incredibly important technology in human history. It has been around for as long as we have needed covering. So we lost our hair quite a long time ago, potentially pushing 2 million plus years, based on genetic research. And after that, if you wanted to move out of any temperate climate, then you're going to need something that helps you maintain homeostasis, maintain your body heat or maintain your coolness if you move into a place that's very, very hot as well. And we have no evidence prehistorically for cloth. That's actually a fairly new technology. So we make the assumption as archaeologists that we were using animal products at those time periods. Now we can push the use of skin based on use wear on stone tools, so that's scratches and striations we see on stone tools, back to 780,000 years ago from the Atapuerca site in Spain. That's Heidelbergensis. That's not even modern hominids. So this goes back a really long way.
Dr. Inbar Kotlov, the co-director of these workshops, also told us about leather tanning, a profession she personally experienced. as we can see from her outfit.
אנחנו רואים חולצה.
We can see a shirt I made myself using the brain tanning method, which is tanning with fat. Stone Age man used the brain of the animal, but today we use vegetal substitution. I also sewed it myself using bone punch.
The workshops were also organized by the Museum of Yarmouktian Culture, an institute dedicated to a unique society which lived in the area during the Neolithic period.
כל מה שיש בתוך
Everything we have in the museum comes from an ancient village, which dates back 8,000 years. We can see the beginning of agriculture, the first appearance of ceramic art, the beginning of urbanization and domestication of animals. So it's a very important site of the Neolithic period.
What caused these people to leave their daily life behind and jump to a life less ordinary, that of thousands of years ago?
ביחד זה נותן איזו חוויה של
All of these workshops give us the opportunity to connect to something which once existed and doesn't any longer.
Feels like being a human being again. It's an animal. It used to live.
They are your history. You know, when we look back at archaeology, we have this crazy idea that they're cavemen and they're somebody that isn't us. But once we're talking about Homo sapiens, even Neanderthal, we are us, and you know, we are them. We're exactly the same species. We've done the same things. We think the same way. We put importance on many of the same things. And this is a continuous technology that allowed us to people the entire globe. Without it, we didn't go to the Arctic. Without it, we didn't cross the Alps. Without it, we probably never crossed into North America and South America. Everyone everywhere did this at some point in time.
The Holy Land is also known as a significant intersection of the Stone Age, where Neanderthals and Homo sapiens first met. Dr. Kotlav and her team hope to expand their vision and continue this tradition, which brings the old methods to the 21st century.